Hey, folks, Jason Garbus here from Numberline Security. I just have a few thoughts I want to share with you. But first, if you haven't seen our robotic field CISO Ray's latest blog, I encourage you to take a look at it. In it, Ray poses the age-old philosophical question: if a tree falls in an uninhabited forest, does it improve our information security? So take a look at that. It's part of our Mondays with Ray series if you haven't seen it. Um, I wanted to share some thoughts on a conversation I had with a client earlier this week, and they're very early on in their zero trust journey, really in, I would say, very much the curiosity phase of organizational readiness, and that's perfectly fine place to be, right? This is a great conversation where they're asking questions. They have different teams that are starting to do some research and learn about zero trust and think about how it might apply to their environment. And one of the interesting things about this is that they kind of really even don't know what they don't know. And they're talking to different vendors, they're talking to research analysts, they're doing some reading and things like that. So I wanted to encourage them to do that. And we also recognize as part of the conversation, I very often share this blueprint, which I'm going to show here for a moment. We're going to be talking a lot more about this blueprint in the future, but the the idea behind this is that there are four clear phases toward how you approach zero trust. And clearly, this individual, this organization is very much in the assessment phase where they're thinking about what is our organizational readiness, and they haven't even thought about does it make sense to do a zero trust maturity assessment for themselves. And the next steps to them will be to go through that, but also to very likely put together a zero trust strategy around what's their vision for the program and how should the program be structured before they get to the later, more meaty steps, in particular the roadmap and the mapping of capabilities to their actually technology and environment. And of course, the business asset focused policies of really enforcing access to resources, which is what we're all accomplishing ultimately with zero trust. So our conversation really turned into how do you create or craft kind of the nexus of this zero trust strategy. And in many cases, we talk to organizations, and there are pretty clear business initiatives or business drivers that can help put this together. For example, I was working with a pharmaceutical company. They would have a business initiative to expand to the European market in the next 12 months. That's fantastic, right? New market, new regulations, going to be deploying technology into new environment. Fantastic opportunity to tie that to zero trust, or conversely, to to show how Zero Trust can support that business initiative. Now, this particular uh, client that I was working with this week is actually a nonprofit. They're a fairly good sized national nonprofit here in the United States. And as about their business is relatively static. They're not expanding into new markets. They don't have big technology initiatives. They're not launching new products, so to speak. And that's fine. That's the nature of who they are. So there wasn't really any obvious business initiative, quote unquote, that jumped out. So the conversation really turned into, okay, it was zero trust in that case will probably be more of a security focused, security led initiative, and it will deliver largely security value, which is necessary for this organization. And does have end user impact. It does impact users in terms of user productivity, user experience, access to data, authentication, and device management, all those types of things. But the next of it, the centerpiece, is really going to be delivering improved security, resilience to ransomware, and things like that. And again, that's not a criticism. There's nothing wrong with that. That can be an absolutely fantastic zero trust initiative. But there's a recognition that the notion of if you're in an organization that doesn't have any obvious or high profile business initiatives, there is still value and there's still ways following this blueprint, following our recommended pathway, there are still ways to put together a credible, very effective, and high impact zero trust initiative. So that's my thought for the day. Thank you. Have a good one.